Hey everyone, today we have a battle of the others. We have the Cobra King Speed Zone in 10.5 degree draw setting with an aftermarket 18 gram weight in the high launch position versus the Callaway Epic Flash long drive head in 5 degrees draw position. The Cobra is in a Project X hazardous smoke yellow, 60 gram extra stiff with a Golf Pride CP2 wrap midsize grip. The Callaway is in a steadfast 70 gram extra stiff shaft with a Golf Pride CP2 wrap midsize grip. The Cobra is configured in a 42.5 inch package and the Callaway is configured in a 43.25 inch package. The Cobra is especially stupid as it's in a counterbalanced shaft, so it's playing at a swing weight of B6. The Epic Flash Long Drive is slightly less stupid at a playing weight of C2. Actually, let's double down on the stupidity. We're going to set the speed zone to 11.5 degrees in the draw setting, because why not? We'll leave the long drive head set to 5 degrees draw, but I reserve the right to drop it down to 4 degrees if we're feeling up to it. Here are the specs for the Cobra. I'd like to point out the fact that the counterbalanced shaft is dropping the swing weight down to B6, so that should be really weird to swing. And the Epic Flash Long Drive, it's a relatively more normal swing weight at C2, but the shaft is pretty stout and pretty heavy, so that should also make it strange to swing. Now just starting my warm-up before I start data collection. As always, I will be showing every single one of my swings from the warm-up with both my warm-up club and the 2 drivers that will be taking part in the test tonight. And now a quick warm-up with the speed zone. As I predicted, I had a lot of trouble feeling where the head of this club was. You're going to see lots of topped balls and my fair share of domed balls that hit the top of the net. Not quite the best showing. And now my warm-up with the long drive head. Wasn't really sure what to expect here, but honestly, it wasn't as bad or extreme as I expected. So I'm just gonna hit a few warm-up balls here, make sure everything's feeling good, and then we'll switch into the data collection mode. And now switching into data collection mode with the Cobra Speed Zone, as evidenced by the yellow Shrixon Z-Star XV balls, which should produce much better numbers for the data test. And now the data for the first 6 shots. When I actually hit the ball, the numbers were pretty good. Good ball speed, good launch numbers. But I also had to subtract 2 balls from the data for just terrible swings that I put on them, which once again is not surprising given the swing weight of this club. And now on to the Callaway Epic Flash Long Drive data collection. First set of 6 shots here. And here's the data for the long drive head. As with the speed zone, I had to drop 2 out of the 6 shots. Oddly though, the numbers that I did get were not as extreme as I was expecting. Fairly normal ball speed, and the launch angle was up in the 12s, which for a 5-degree head was an unexpected result. And now the final 6 shots with the Cobra. Just trying to put some good swings on this club so that I can get some decent data to show at the end. Here's the data from the second set of shots. Once again, I was only able to keep 4 of the 6, put 2 really bad swings on it, but surprisingly, the data I did get was really good. High ball speeds and lower than expected launch angle. And the accumulated data from both rounds. Once again, I was only able to keep 8 of the 12 shots, so not great for consistency or forgiveness, but on the shots I was able to keep, had really excellent ball speed and a launch angle of under 12 degrees, which for an 11.5 degree head, that is much lower than I had expected. And now the second set of shots with the long drive head. The first set of 6 had some strangely high launch and low ball speed numbers, so I was curious as to if those would continue with the second set of shots taken with this 80% power swing. Quite a strange set of data here. I was only able to keep 4 of the 6 shots, and 2 of those 4 were way offline. But we did see the launch angle drop down to something a little bit more reasonable, and the ball speeds stayed consistent. And now both sets of data combined. Like the Cobra, we were only able to keep 8 shots of the 12, and the ball speed stayed around 152, and the launch was 11 degrees. So once again, pretty consistent, but also pretty surprising. At this point, I was a bit weirded out by the strange numbers of the long drive head, so I decided to drop the loft on the head down to 4 degrees, and instead of putting my normal 80% fairway finder swing on the club, I decided to put full-on 100% swings on this club. I figured maybe, the head did not work well until I was giving it everything I had, so I just wanted to collect an extra set of data to see what would happen with full swings. And needless to say, I was pretty excited by this second set of swings. So with this final set, using my 100% power swing, I saw numbers that were much more along the lines of what I was expecting to see from this club. I was able to keep 5 of 6, so actually it was a bit more consistent than with the 80% swing. And as we can see, the ball speeds were way up, well into the 160s, with one creeping at 167 miles per hour. And the launch angle was also much more normal, right in the mid-6s, which is pretty exciting to see for a club that might potentially be used as a stinger driver type club in the future. So, let's discuss some of those results. That was pretty fun, right? The results were not wholly unsurprising. The speed zone launched higher and didn't go as far, and perhaps had tighter groupings. And the Epic Flash long drive, especially in the -1 degree loft setting, was a ball speed monster and launched to super low and was pretty unforgiving. Neither driver really had a chance of becoming a contender in the final for the Shorty Shootout brackets. The speed zone, while set up to be as forgiving as this driver can be in its high launch weight setting and high loft sleeve setting, was hamstrung from the start by the fact that it was in a counterbalance shaft in a reduced length design, making the feel of this driver terrible. You have no idea where the head of the driver is, and every swing is a guess. And that was evidenced by the large number of shots that I topped or hit out of the top of the crown and just were outright terrible, unkeepable shots for the data. The Epic Flash long drive head did have some surprises, however. When swinging at this driver with my 80% swing, like I do with all the shorties, it launched surprisingly high. For a 5-degree head, I was getting launch in the 12 to 13 degrees, as we saw with the data, which is really strange. Additionally, despite the lower loft, I wasn't really seeing any ball speed improvements over the speed zone head. Towards the end, I realized that it was probably because the Epic Flash requires a little bit more speed to truly activate it. The face is a little bit thicker, and the shaft that it's in is very, very stiff. Putting 80% swings on this long driver is probably just not what this driver is built for. So I put some 100% swings on the driver, and the results were much closer to what we would expect from this driver. Ball speeds were much higher, well into the 160s on every shot, and the launch angle was around 6 to 7 degrees, which is much more what we would expect from this driver. Which brings up a question. What if we're in a position where it's a super windy day and we just need low stinger driver bullets off the tee in a package that's still super easy to hit? The Epic Flash might actually have a spot in my bag in some very specific situations. So, apologies to the Speed Zone head. It's not going to be seen again in this Shorty Shootout. However, it will be making a guest appearance a little bit later down the line when we start exploring some driver configurations. So congratulations to the Epic Flash. While it might not be seeing future use in this Shorty competition with 80% swings and maximum forgiveness, it does potentially have a place in my bag in special situations.